first got here, I learned so much about Hartford and Hartford Public Schools and the amazing things that happen here, and also the challenges that we face. And we have some inequities that we need to deal with as a school district.
My definition of racism is really the oppression of another group of people based on their race, and it is done through a systematic power structure.
Racism to me is when people look at me differently simply because of my background, my ethnicity, the fact that I am Hispanic. So I think it's a combination of all those things, but it's ultimately a power structure. It's how can we oppress a certain group through the racial construct.
Besides the traditional black and white or other colors or whatnot, but it's just about not being treated fairly. And just not having the same, I don't want to keep using the word equity, but just equality.
Ignorance. Ignorance is the very foundation of racism. Once we get over the ignorant part, we can start doing away with so much racism.
After college applications, and then going on to job applications, which education is the basis for, then you realize that even the name makes a difference. Some people will not interview you if you have an ethnic sounding name.
And so we need to learn together, and we need to have the courageous conversations together about race, racism, and equity. So I'm so thrilled that so many people have taken us up on this invitation and that this is resonating with people, because I know this is important. And one of the things that I always talk about is that we need to know our students and our families and our schools well in order to serve them well. And in order to know our students and families well, we need to be culturally competent.
So once we get away from the fear, then our schools will start having programs that are better suited for all groups of students. Our teachers will not be afraid of the student, and then they can have those relationships built. Our superintendent will have the relationship in which they're trying to build now.
Especially for the children of Hartford, our youth, especially our black and brown boys. Being a man of color myself, I feel like it's up to me to really move the work forward and be a voice for the community at different levels throughout the district.
I'm going to tell you this, that I'm going to have the conversation about race very early on with my children. I'm having the conversation with them about race to protect them, to defend them from what they're going to have to deal with from the outside world.
I hope that I can provide some tools for the people in the audience, the teachers, the parents, the staff, the educational partners, to think deeply about racial inequality in schools.
I think that people will come away from this event today understanding how race happens in schools and how it affects different students in terms of access to courses and academic outcomes.
Racism is ingrained in America's soil and heritage. So I think this is a great start to have a dialogue, but it was what we do after that. Once we had the dialogue, what are the next action steps and follow-ups, and that's what I'm more interested in.
If 1,000 people leave this auditorium and they go out and they tell 10 to 20 people, or they go on Facebook and they tweet it and they Snapchat and things of that nature, it will begin to fuel a conscious movement that Hartford is trying to correct the things that are wrong about our system.
But I hope it's ongoing, right? We launched this as part of a family-friendly schools initiative, and you just don't do that in one event or in one year. This has to be the way that we do business in the Hartford Public Schools.